starts from the tax system and works its way out so that the investments in decarbonization are happening here in Canada. You will see some elements of that coming with the major projects when those announcements are made as well, but there'll be a more comprehensive approach for climate competitiveness as part of our global industrial competitiveness strategy.
So, what is Mark Carney up to? Well, Mark Carney is up to a lot of things, but let's have a look at this. In terms of what does he mean pausing EV mandates? What does he really mean by that? Well, let's hazard a guess here.
To add flexibility to the automotive sector, we will remove the 2026 electric vehicle availability standard, which specifies the share of new vehicle sales that must be electric next year. This will provide immediate financial relief to automakers at a time of increased pressure on their competitiveness. And the government will begin immediately a 60-day review of the EV standard to identify future flexibilities and ways to reduce costs. And will advance new options to bring more and more affordable electric vehicles to Canadians.
Okay, so clearly Mark Carney still wants an EV mandate, but not right now because the economy is crashing. We just saw 66,000 jobs in August alone gone. The unemployment rate is surging past 7%. It could hit 10% by the end of the year. We are at the brink of a recession, perhaps a depression, capital D depression. So Mark Carney's desperate, and he knows automakers are going out of business. Automakers are going broke. We've got the trade war with the United States, and inflation continues to rise.
Today, he's flip-flopped. After being a passionate advocate for banning gas-powered vehicles, calling for them to be banned by 2030 in his book, Values, which, by the way, was much more aggressive than Trudeau's plan to ban them in 2035, he's finally admitted that the Conservatives were right, just like we were right on the carbon tax. But he's doing a clumsy retreat, saying that he's going to delay this mandate. So now, businesses who would otherwise consider investing in automaking here in Canada will have to put that investment on hold while Mark Carney dithers for another year to try and figure out how he can ban people from putting gas and diesel in their trucks and cars. Mark Carney can't even get his flip-flops right.
So this is an ideological flip-flop to some degree because Mark Carney still believes he should be driving an electric vehicle. He also believes the economy is on the verge of collapsing. And if he continues down this road, it's going to collapse faster than he can possibly contain. So Poilievre is right. He's flip-flopped, but only because he realizes there's an economic catastrophe on the way and he's got to do everything he can to alleviate it, or the Liberal Party will be doomed as the party that was in power during the next Great Depression. So this is what Mark Carney is trying to do. This is all political, as everything Mark Carney has ever done is always political. The man cannot move without politics being the reason.
Scott Moe had said yesterday that if it was up to him, Saskatchewan would remove the tariffs on EVs from Chinese EVs in hope that China might remove tariffs on the canola sector. If it was up to you, would you do the same thing?
No, I don't believe that is the right way to go. I think that, first of all, China wants these electric vehicles to be roving surveillance operations on our streets. And in 10 years, God forbid, there's a conflict, and then there's millions of those vehicles surveilling our population in our streets. That would be a strategic problem for our country. So I respect Scott Moe. He's a great premier. I just respectfully disagree with this point. What I would do instead is I would cancel the $1 billion loan the Liberals are giving under Mark Carney to buy Chinese-made ships. I would say to the dictators in Beijing, you are not going to be selling $1 billion of ships to our country when you are unlawfully and unfairly targeting our canola producers with tariffs.
I'm not sure that's going to make any difference at all to the tariff on canola, just canceling the BC ferry contract. So clearly Poilievre has not thought this one through. And I don't think he has the intention of thinking it through because once again, He's not putting the interest of agriculture above his political interests in getting votes in Ontario and Quebec. And that's what's going on here. And it's very unfortunate. I think Scott Moe is probably right about this. And why is he talking about a potential conflict with China? He's talking about war with China in 10 years? That doesn't even need to be said. Canada would not survive a war with China. And right now, the United States will probably not survive a war with China. This is madness to even suggest it.
Good morning, Prime Minister. Judy Trin with CTV News. Given that your government is pausing some EV targets and reevaluating the policy, and in your own words, you said you would like to pursue new options to bring more affordable electric vehicles to Canada. Does that mean that your government is also considering lifting the 100% tariffs that your predecessor put on electric vehicles made in China that have triggered punishing tariffs on the canola industry in Western Canada?
Thank you for the question, Judy. The first thing is to say, from our perspective on climate competitiveness, is to develop the competitiveness of our industries everywhere from the resource sector through to manufacturing, through to services, so that Canadian businesses can compete. We can grow foreign markets. We can grow jobs and sustainable jobs here in Canada. And in that regard, there's a series of measures that we're taking and will take, starts from the tax system and works its way out, so that the investments in decarbonization are happening here in Canada. You will see some elements of that coming with the major projects when those announcements are made as well, but there'll be a more comprehensive approach for climate competitiveness as part of our global industrial competitiveness strategy, and you'll see that in the coming weeks.
So no, his tune hasn't changed. He still wants an EV-dominated or a complete EV economy. And he is still talking in the same language about climate change, about net zero. He's just stalling. He's buying time because of the catastrophe that he can see. He's not stupid. He knows there's an economic catastrophe on the horizon. And he knows there's very little he can do about it. But that's Mark Carney. Is he really saying anything different? No, not really. Mark Carney's still Mr. Net Zero. And when you get a net zero in achievement from Mark Carney. Thank you for sharing this station with your friends and family. Thank you for hitting that like button, because I tell you, we are fighting back in a way I've never had to before, because I'm going to keep this station on the air. I am going to keep fighting for freedom. I'm going to keep fighting for justice and truth, because that's all I have left. And I am damn determined to resist this Carney government in any way possible, as it encroaches upon our individual freedom. And it will continue to do that, mark my words. And that's why we're here today. I'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place, 10 a.m. This has been David Crayden, broadcasting live from our nation's capital in Ottawa. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.
You can't handle the truth.
Resolve to resist